Hello and welcome to Warhammer Wednesday. This is going to be my unboxing and review of the Ork Lootas and Burnas. Why did I get this box set? Well, Games Workshop might be aware, they might not be aware, but when they make a new release, sometimes people that have the army, they'll buy the new models, and sometimes they'll buy some models that they already have or that they've never really thought about purchasing before, and I fall into that category. So I thought I'd pick up a box because they are nice looking models, and something that I didn't understand because on Games Workshop's web store now they have separate like thumbnails or separate units or separate categories for the same box set. So you type in Ork Lootas and there's one category, type in Ork Burnas and there's a separate one, and they appear on the Force organisation as two separate units that you can buy, when actually they're just the same box set. So you can make 5 Burnas or 5 Lootas from this box, and this box will set you back about £15.50. So for 5 models, I think that's not too bad, considering you get different options. So there you go. In true Orky style, I'm going to be using an Ork's toothpick to open this, and it shouldn't really be much of an issue for the cold steel. Not a problem. So I'll show you the back. They're the 5 Burnas. Burnas are still pretty cool. I mean, their weapons in close combat are on penetration 3, so they're still going to do well against Space Marine armour or Marine equivalent armour. They can be used as a ranged weapon if you want to do that, and also you can make these Lootas, which range 48, and I think they're strength 7, AP 4, so they're pretty good units. So let's unbox and take a look at what you get. So you see it's relatively oldish sprue, 2007 actually, so that's what, it's 2014, so 7 years ago they first came out of the little press. So you get 3 sprues and you get 5 bases. I'll try not to rattle the bases because I understand the flash kits ones were pretty loud. You get your instructions, which are very straightforward, it seems. Yeah, very straightforward. It's just suddenly decided to go really bright. Ah well. So we'll carry on regardless of the weather. As you can see, because they're 7 years ago, there's huge spaces in all the gaps. And if you compare this to like last week's or a couple of weeks ago review of the flash kits, you'll see that there was very small amount of spaces in between the sprues. But there you have 5 Ork legs, and you've also got your 5 torsos, and you've got the start of some weapons and some backpacks and things. You've even got a little Snot's head with I think he's got a bullet in his mouth. It's not a cigar. Then you got this one, which you've got 4 Burnas there with 4 backpacks, and they look like the tanks for the back of them. We've also got 4 heads. I'm not too keen of those, but I think those 2 heads are quite decent. One with a cigar and one with a like stitched up cloth rag with goggles on, pitch black kind of style. I think that's pretty awesome. And then for this one, you've got that was the other burner on there. It looks a bit like a mech tool or mech weapon, but you'd count that as a burner. So on here you've got, and also you've got the like a normal kind of looted weapon. I think they're called Deffguns now, because flash kits have snaz guns, looters have Deffguns, and then you've also got a rocket launcher if you want to do that. So here are your remaining 4 Deffguns with the backpacks and the ammos and bits of rockets that you can attach to them, and they've even got these clips that are shooting out of the exit ports on the guns, or exit chambers, whatever you want to call them, which is obviously they've applied that to the flash kits models now, haven't they? There's no date on this particular sprue, but it is clipped off, so I'm assuming there's one press that just prints out these three at a time. It's normally the case, isn't it? And you've also got some targeting. It's nice to see that there's different types, so I might actually put one of those on my flash kits, who knows. And then you've got another 4 heads, so you've got 4 heads there. You've got, I'd say that counts as a head, so you've got 5 there, so that's 9, and then you've got like a mechs one there, so you've got 10 heads all in all. I think this would be really cool if you bought a box of Ork Boys. I think you could actually make the other 5 you know, looters or burners, which I think that's what I'm probably going to do. However, if you do that, you are spending 18 quid now a box costs. They used to be like 10 or 12 quid, and you used to get a lot in a box. Obviously now, you know, things are harder than that. But either way, if you did buy a box of Ork Boys, which are 10, you could use 5 of them to make the other 5 weapons, and then you could use the other 5 to either use the special weapons in that box set, or have one as a knob, or, you know, so you could, or you'd have a few boys left over to fill your other squads, and you'll have 30 in a mob. So it wouldn't be money wasted if you bought a box of looters and a box of Ork Boys, because in a way you could get another 5 burners or loot. Yeah, you could get the if you're going to make looters, you could use them to make the other 5 burners, and the others you could just put in a mob. So it would be a good investment buying a box of these and a box of Ork Boys, or even better, buy 2 boxes of these. That's 30 quid, and a box of Ork Boys, which is 18, so that's 48 quid. So for 50 quid you got 2 squads of 10 looters. So you got 10 looters, 10 burners, and then, you know, some remaining orcs there. You know, you can have those 10 as special weapons or whatever, but then you've got basically a huge portion of an army there, which is excellent. Anyway, I've gone on for far too long for the unboxing part. I will now, in part 2, I'll show you them built. I'm going to build them up as looters, I think. So yeah, join me in part 2. And welcome to part 2. These are the looters that I've created. I've got 5 of them. I managed to make 5. It is important, as you can see here, that one is different. You can't actually make 5 looters as the box describes. So trading standards wise, it's not really, I don't think they'd have a leg to stand on, because you can make 4 looters and a mech, but you can't, or you can make 4 burners and a mech. Now the mech has a kind of like a gun that looks a little bit like a flamethrower or a burner weapon, but you could pass that off as another burner. That's fine. However, if you choose the looter option, you can't actually make 5 looters. I'll tell you why. Because this particular model here, it doesn't come with an extra arm that holds ammo like you would get in the normal boy box. It also doesn't come with an arm that stops for the rocket launcher if you wanted to use that, which is a bit of a disappointment, because you'd think that you could make 5 looters and you quite clearly can't. What I've done here is I've used an arm that is supposed to go on one of the burners, and I've put a shooter from just out of my bits box. So that basically gives you more of a incentive to buy a box of boys with the burner and looter box set. But really, guys, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to buy another box set to finish off another box. It's a bit out of order in my opinion. You pay for 5, you should get 5. You're not getting 5, you're getting 4 and a mech, and that's the same for the burners. It's a bit out of order really. Apart from that, that's a bit negative, I know, but the models themselves are pretty decent. Now this box set, I think I said was like 2004 or 2007, I can't really remember, but it's an old box set. You can tell because actually in one of my older rule books, I think it was the 2007 rule book, they had these in, and I think before that you could get them in metal or pewter, whatever you want to call it. So they're quite nice models. I thought I'd do them here rather than somewhere else because there's enough light here. This one has got some kind of, they're all called Deffguns, but as you can see, they just need a bit of a clean up with a brush to get rid of some of the file residue off. But here's the one that I kind of like modded. So you do get a Deffgun in a way. That's a clip that I've added from the Flash Kits box set, and that's another gun I've just plopped on there. The little Gretchen's pretty cool with all the ammo. But yeah. And then here's another one. I like that gun, it looks pretty cool. Just these massive guns, aren't they? They're basically like a, well, in a way they've all got autocannons. The amount of shots you get is random, so you can get well, it's a D3 number of shots. So if you had a squad of 10, you could get 10 shots, 20 shots, or even 30 shots with 10, and they're all strength 7 AP 4. So flyers, I mean, their ballistic skills pants anyway. I think it's like, I think you still need 5s up to hit. So you know, if you manage to score 30 shots at a flyer, you know, you got some pretty good chances there of wiping it out. Likewise, anything with armor 13, so Predator, you've got 30 shots going at a Predator, you've got 30 shots going at another Devastator squad. Even if they get their 3+ armor saves, you've got 30 against 10 Marines. Even a Rhino, I think that would be quite funny, seeing 10 of these rip into a Rhino. And the final one, it looks a bit like a las cannon / las gun. So in reality, that's a las cannon with a flashlight, a la Battlefield. So he's got that upgrade. There we go. So they're the models. They're pretty good. I mean, they're very, very easy to make. It's literally legs, torso, arm, weapon, head, and this gubbins, the kind of what would you want to call that? Kind of harness support for the weapon and the ammo for the side. So they're quite easy to make. Very, very quick. Quicker than the Flash Kits. Size comparison, well, I've just got a normal boy there, making good use of the blood paint, obviously, because it's awesome. So that's how one holds up. They're bigger overall, and I mean, this box set, like I said at the start, I think £15.50. I think a box of boys is like, might be 15 quid now. It yeah, it probably is about 15 quid. Maybe a bit more actually. So, you know, they are 5 orcs, but they are highly detailed. So similar size. And then I do actually have one of the new Flash Kits. And yeah, I mean, it would be cool if you got looter versions of the Flash Kits. So you had knobs with ridiculous weapons, like ridiculous size weapons. But in a way, that's good because, yeah, enemy might see these and go, oh yeah, they're just orcs with, you know, bigger guns kind of thing, and 10 of them, they just think, oh, that's, you know, just a mob or something. Whereas these, you see them and you think, crikey, they could do a bit of damage. So the looters are a little bit inconspicuous, and you know, you got 10 of them there hidden somewhere, and your enemy won't really take notice of them or realise their potential until bam, 30 shots. You know, you see tanks dissolving and evaporating, and units disappearing. Or flyers being blown out of the sky. So, I mean, I think what they could have done with looters is they could have given them some kind of special rule, because their range, I think they're 48 inches. Because of that, I think that if they were given like some kind of upgrade, like is it a bird, is it a plane, or something like that, whereby you could all give them skyfire. I mean, I know that means only using their ballistic skill, so it's only giving you +1, like 5. But you know, 5's, you know, you could hit them on hit flyers at 5 instead of 6s. I think that would be really cool, rather than hitting them on 6s. But they might be a bit OP if you did that. Anyway, that's my kind of unboxing and review of them. I think they're awesome models. The rules are pretty good. I'm obviously devastated that they are heavy support now. It does make sense that they are, because they've got big heavy weapons, and they're kind of like the Ork equivalent of Devastators. So it kind of makes sense, but I would have preferred them as elites. Or have flash gits as elites. I mean, they've got knobs and mega armor knobs as elites. Why not have flash gits as elites instead? They should have done that. Either or. But anyway, rules aside, I think they're awesome models, well worth the 15 quid, and can't wait to paint them and field them and see how they do against the old Space Marines. Anyway, before I go, I just want to show you all the extra bits and things that you get with these models. I've got them here. As you can see, these are what I was talking about. You've got different heads there. You've got the mech head, which I didn't use. Looks like that. The big tune on a screw. Got a couple of other heads. So you get, I think, 4 or 5 heads there. You get this little skull thing. Not really sure what that's for. You get the mech's gun, which you could pass off as a burner if you really needed to. You get these arms, but as I said, with that model that I had to customise, you don't get an arm for that particular gun. You don't get an arm that reaches round and you know, holds the gun in place, which is a little bit disappointing, really. But apart from that, you also get these, which are obviously the tops of the gas cylinders for the burners, which look alright. I much prefer the older ones. They're longer, but I prefer the older style burners. I think they were awesome. The metal ones. I do have some metal ones somewhere. You might see them in a battle report or something. And the rocket launcher, which just looks, well, a bit strange, really. So they're the spare bits that you get. As I said before, it's probably is worth buying a box of boys, and then at least you can use all these. You know, and then you don't have to buy another box of these to get extra bits, if you see where I'm coming from. Okay. Thanks ever so much for watching me today. Thanks for joining me. Please do comment, rate and subscribe. Take care.